And here he is, the guy who's currently dominating the group with 3 wins and 0 losses. Trying to continue his shutout. It is
Startail Farmer.
Bomber.
There is once again fancy shirt. He has won every single game in this group so far, and that's his opponent at the top right of Calm Before the Storm. This is
Tassadar.
Tassadar now down 2 games. He needs a win.
Yeah, he definitely needs a win. I mean, he doesn't just need a win. He needs 2 wins and a miracle. What he needs. Again,
he needs 3 wishes.
Just a reminder. Yeah, that's right. He needs 3 wishes. He better hope that there's a magical genie that comes out of the watchtower when he takes it in the center, because he is in trouble. Remember, again, you can go to gomtv.net/tickets. Was it /ticket?
I think it's /ticket.
/ticket. Check out our new ticket system, the new ticketing prices. If you know a nerd that you think deserves the gift of esports, then you can go ahead and get him a yearly pass. He'll love you for it. Or she will love you for it too.
Nice Christmas present. My Christmas came actually early because I must have been a really good boy. I've been complaining about that I don't have a cup in the studio, so I always had to make do with the paper cups that they have over here, and they are really small when I try to get a coffee. And now, this, well, not morning, but 6 o'clock, roughly 6 o'clock, Moltra walked in with a white beard and a red coat and was like, ho, 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 and gave me a huge cup. So now I finally can drink as much coffee as I want.
They wouldn't let me wear the red coat and the beard on the cast, unfortunately. But
I must have, yeah.
Yeah, well, every day you're like, oh, I forgot to bring a real mug. I hate these paper cups every day. And so I picked one up for you today. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Oh, I'm enjoying it a lot. Man, I love you for that. That is just brilliant. That saved my day.
I don't want to say this, but between you and me, Keldor giggled like a schoolgirl. He was so happy.
Yeah, of course I was.
What? Bomber's putting down a bunker in Tassadar's base. That's kind of cheeky. It's just for fun, just to kind of scare him a little bit. Although I think Tassadar knows there's nothing to be scared about.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I remember a conversation I had with Todd, because some Terran player did that to him, and he looked at him and was like, what do you think I am? A Zerg player? Man, I'm not falling for that. And suddenly he had a bunker with 4 Marines and then lost the game. So it was like, okay, every single time I see a bunker in my main base, I will pull all my probes off to kill that thing.
That's true. I guess you don't want to trade it too lightly and let it complete.
Yeah, but you're right, Bomber, especially on that map, obviously just trying to troll him a little bit and fake that. Both players going for an early expand once again, and I have to admit that Bomber is actually getting a really, really early engineering bay.
Yeah, I was just learning that myself.
Oh, and the SCV is still in the main base of Tassadar.
Oh, that's cute. He's going to be able to use that as a ninja scout later on. Instead of scanning, he can just send that SCV back into Tassadar's main base and see what tech's going on there. That's pretty cool.
SCV has to be careful, though. It's an enemy territory. And the only one who survives something like that is usually Chuck Norris. So the SCV in a lot of danger, but +1 being lined up now.
Last time I checked, Huck has not switched to Terran, so cannot be a Huck Norris SCV. And a couple more gateways going down in the back of Tassadar's base, just trying to power up. And here is that point where the SCV wanders in. Don't mind me, nothing to see here. I'm just checking out your base. Exactly. Just whistling. And Stalker pops out. Pops the life of that SCV. But it did its job. Bunker's almost complete, and the Stalkers are trying to do some poking here. Beautiful positioning on top of that ramp, though, making sure that he attacks down the ramp, and with Tassadar tries to get some pot shots off. He's on top of the ramp, so he doesn't have vision. Good stuff. Stim being started, as well as +1 is getting near to completion. So I wonder if Bomber's going to go for kind of an early 1-1 attack and like just use that 1 engineering bay, get 1 attack, and then get 1 armor after it, and it might be timed out with stim or combat shields or something. We'll have to see how that all works out.
The thing is, he can't really attack the Protoss player without Medivacs, because as soon as there's one sentry that is able to force field the ramp on 2 base against 2 base, that won't work out all too well. And Tassadar is now trying to contain him.
Unless Tassadar takes his 3rd down his ramp, which is going to leave him a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, but first of all, he has to get out of his own base. That's the main problem for Bomber right now.
Oh, that's true. Oh, you're talking about Bomber's ramp.
Well, originally also about the ramp of Tassadar, as long as he stays on 2 bases. But in that specific situation, we have Tassadar right in front of Bomber's entrance, so he can just force field as soon as the Terran player walks down the ramp, just trying a little bit of a contain.
Very good point.
Yeah, now he's just now getting the factory, but the +1 will obviously also enable him to get the +1 armor. There we go, lining that up, and we will see the armory fairly soon. Bomber just going for a really upgrade-heavy style of play, and I like that because he will get ahead when it comes down to the upgrades. Tassadar didn't even build his forge just yet. Just trying to get the 3rd base, and of course the robotics so that he can get that scout, that observer that will enable him to scout his opponent's main base. Finally, the 1st forge, and the 2nd one should be built. 2nd forge.
Bomber's really afraid of an attack here. He's got 3 bunkers. It's a little strange. And now he's finally going to build the command center, 3rd one in his main, so that when he finally does break out of this, he can...
Want a piece of me, boy?
He can have a base to put down there.
Single forge on 3 bases? That doesn't make any sense at all. Get the 2nd forge, son, and get those double upgrades. Combat shield is halfway done, +1 armor as well. Well, halfway. He needs the armory.
Oh, well, look at this perfect timing. Bomber has 2 medevacs in production right now. Tassadar force fields the ramp and just leaves. Doesn't want to wait for those medevacs to come out, because if the medevacs come out, he can just go ahead and, you know, ferry units down and kill all those forces, because Tassadar would have them kind of isolated. So he's falling back to keep them alive. And look at that. I know you love your upgrade timings.
Hell yeah,
he's getting the armory and the 2nd engineering base, so we can get 2-2. It's going to be a little bit off with the timing, but still going to be good.
Yeah, he's doing a good job at that. Engineering bay number 2 is done. +1 armor about to be done as well. And we have the armory, while his opponent is now not only going for the robotics support bay, but we also have a Dark Shrine.
Ooh. It's going to be interesting. Don't think it'll do too much, but it's always fun to throw in some DTs in mid-game. Throw your opponent off guard if they're not watching, you know, if they're not being careful. Then
scanning for an observer before he actually drops into his opponent's base, but Tassadar is kind of ready.
Yeah, he already sent the stalkers back
there. He snipes the Nexus. Look at the factory. He uses the factory in order to block, and now he has to pull the probes. He's losing every single one of them. Another engagement at the left, but that drop is dealing a ton of damage. All the probes are gone. Look at Bomber. He even kills the Nexus.
Wow.
He killed 25 workers.
That was so awesome. Oh, nice force fields are going to trap those Marines so the Colossus can finish them off. But these Marauders are still doing damage in the 3rd.
Guys, in Barney Stinson's Book of Awesomeness, that actually gets a 10. That's a 10 right there. Using the factory to block the pathway for the Stalkers. Slick. Killing all the probes, the Nexus as well.
That was a pimp play right there. That was such a good play that Gumiho just rushed back into the studio because he's like, oh, someone told me the game's almost over.
Tassadar doesn't even know what hit him.
No. And Bomber ends up, here's the real story, Bomber ends up with a 30 supply lead and 3 bases to 2.
30? Make that 50.
Oh, you're right, 50. I'm sorry, I'm usually really good at math, but
wow.
Like I said, I'm a little bit batty today.
I'm baffled by that. That was beautiful. The DTs are not doing anything. Nice.
Nope.
Scan. And I loved how Bomber scanned his units, his own army, before he dropped, because he wanted to see, is there an observer? Does my opponent know what I'm doing? Yeah. No, he doesn't, so let's drop.
Yeah, and Tassadar is now forced to play defensively. He's sending out these DTs to try and check for extra expansions. Oh, look at that. That TP's just going to sit there and die. But yeah, I'm actually a little surprised Bomber's not building another base, but he might just want to end it off these 3 bases, or at least get maxed. You know, oftentimes players, when they win a battle and they know they're ahead, they'll try and get extra bases to get more ahead, but sometimes it's just better to get more units, because you're not going to fall behind from getting more units, you know, unless you let them come back in it. But in this case, Bomber, he can just get a bunch of stuff and wait to expand later on and still be secure.
We have 70 SCVs against 50 probes, and the thing is that Bomber is now so far ahead in upgrades, I can't even describe how far ahead he is. He has 2-2, and his opponent is not even done with a +2 attack upgrade, doesn't have a single armor upgrade, has only 1 forge, and Bomber is now researching +3/+3 already.
Wow. This is really interesting because, I mean, we often see the Protoss get the double forge upgrades, and so Terrans have kind of responded by making sure they get those double engineering bays because they don't want to fall behind. And sometimes if the Protoss isn't doing that and Terran is kind of countering them, the Terran gets way ahead, and here comes a major battle. He EMPs the Templar, but Storm's not. Oh, Storm is complete. I'm sorry.
No
Gets a
way.
couple Storms off, but it's not enough. GG. And Tassadar is eliminated as well. He is now 1-3 in the group, and Bomber continues his reign of terror in this up and down group and has basically clinched Code S with that win at a score of 4-0. Even if he loses his last game, there is only one other player that can also get 4 wins, Gumiho. So Bomber is Code S.
Bomber is in Code S. And Gumiho and Ryung. Ryung has to play Killer. And Gumiho... Oh, actually.
No.
Gumiho has to play Ryung.
Gumiho is, excuse me, playing Ryung.
Yeah, that's one of the last matches that we need. It's actually the last match that we need. The winner will...
Oh.
The winner advances, exactly.
There you go. Yeah, because the way it's set up, if Ryung wins, he'll be 3-2. And Gumiho will be 3-2.
Exactly.
But Ryung will have just won the head-to-head tiebreaker, basically, that would determine it. The other 2 matches, the other 2 players, the other 3, Maro, Killer, and Tassadar, all have 3 losses, so there's no way they can tie. So they're not going to be an issue in this. So you're right, one more game is going to determine who gets into Code S.
This is getting exciting.
He goes down
to Crossfire.
To Code A. Crossfire is going to be the last map. What? Only 13 games today?
That's,
we don't
by the
get
way,
all 15?
My Christmas present.
I almost got him the one with the pink flowers on it, but I think it was part of a set with like plates and stuff. I didn't think you wanted a whole set of china, so I just got you the one mug.
Mug is alright.
Mug is alright.
It's appreciated.
I'm sorry, did you want the china set? Maybe I should have gotten that for you.
I'm kind of thinking about the pink flowers, and I think I can pull that one off, but...
They were nice cups. The ones with the pink flowers. Or the nice plates and everything. Maybe I'll get it for my own apartment, actually.
I'm sticking to that one.
Okay.
And you told me it's bigger, so more coffee.
There you go. Exactly. So Crossfire is going to be the next map. It's going to be a Terran versus Terran. So I was almost about to talk about how Crossfire, you often have people like sieging up on the high ground outside of each other's expansions. You might still see that actually in TVT. Oftentimes, if both Terrans have siege mode tanks, the positioning can be a really big factor. But we're going to take a quick break before we get to this last game. Do not go anywhere. The last game promises to be exciting. We'll see you in a few.